Hey folks, thanks for showing up. Hold on, give me a second. Hold on. I don't know what happened there. Sorry about that. January 19th. Watch these days in the week of 22nd, 28th. I haven't checked the 19th specifically. I'm much more concerned that I already made some notes about this. I mean, you could check on the 19th. I mean, I know there's going to be some issues, but the really, really, really big stuff, this is historical. This is, we haven't had one of these in 18 years. We're at the cusp, okay? We're at the cusp here. This is the end. If this is time is moving this way, okay? Here we go. Time is moving this way. What we call time here on planet Earth. And this is the ephemeris. This is the same thing they use when they're sending up their rockets and satellites. They have to know what the planets are doing, where they are exactly to the degree. So it's the same thing with the astrology here. We just interpret the energy differently. But this is the very, very last vestiges of the very last degrees of desperation for Pluto in Capricorn. And from here onwards, we're heading into a 20-year journey of Pluto in Aquarius. So the Aquarius season, the age of Aquarius, is literally with us now. We've had glimpses earlier when, different planets went through Aquarius, Jupiter and Saturn and things over the last few decades. But this is the big one. And the obvious number one theme is freedom. Primarily freedom of expression, freedom of selfhood, freedom of being the sovereign self, freedom of communication, and the ability to exchange energy and commerce between people, individuals, shops, stores, banks, customers, clients, industry, news media, communications, satellites, all of that stuff. It's all about the, freedom, okay? Freedom of that stuff, freedom of speech. That's why it's number one on our Constitution here. Give me a second. I got to light up the studio. Sorry, it's very dark in here. My cameras are very sensitive to light, so it looks like it was still lit up, but it's not. All right, so on the 19th, the sun is moving into Taurus, and the moon is sort of in Taurus, so it sort of looks like a sort of a new moon, but it isn't really, okay? The Capricorn new moon is happening over here. That is on the 11th. Oh, I'm sorry. Yes, I'm sorry. Over here. What was I talking about? Sorry for my gibberish here. Capricorn, Sun, and Moon in Taurus. Okay, I'm not going to stress too much about it. The big, big stuff here is already marked out. Okay, we're over here today. And yesterday, last night, Mars moved into Capricorn. The 0 degree mark right now. So it's getting extremely, let's say, militaristic and surgically precise regarding whatever is fake and untrue. It's in a very, very hard square with Neptune. Okay, that's this thing here. This is extremely harsh and it's very precise. Mars squared Neptune, Mercury squared Neptune, and this of course is sadly and tragically, it doesn't have to be this way, but that's the way people are choosing to express it. We're looking at the very worst of human behavior, literally the sickest of the most depraved, nasty stuff you can imagine is on full exposure, all right? You've probably all heard about it already, so I'm not going to dive in too much, but it's all to do with about the island in the Caribbean and Jeffrey and Ghislaine and all that gang. And all these names are being outed, okay? So I'll give you my thoughts just a second necessary. I just want to cover a couple of basics. I'm not going to be here long. I just needed to put something on the channel today because today is a very, very big important day for me personally. I'll show you why in a minute. I've been waiting for this. So this is going on. This is going on all over the world. Basically, the people, the common people, the people who have to defend and protect the world are basically calling things out as they are, and they're willing to fight and die to get to the truth and get done what has to be done. We've just lived through the Sagittarius season, okay, and that was all of the last 30 days. It's been an intense pounding on Washington, D.C. to expose the truth, and that's what's happening right now. And of course, the administration in Washington is in complete meltdown, complete denial. It's almost mind-boggling to watch what's going on in the American politics. So I'm not going to dwell on it. Some people it makes people sick, but I'm noting it here. It's truly mind-boggling to see how distorted and sick and perverted things have been allowed to become. Okay? What are we going to do about it? Well, guess what? It's revolution, folks. Why do I say that? It's because that's what happens every 250 years when Pluto ends the cycle of a Capricorn and enters into the new era, the age of Aquarius, okay? It's regular as clockwork, and we are here today right now. Pluto is here. It's right on the tippity cusp. I'll just see if I don't know if the camera will pick it up. Pluto is there in the 29.5 degree mark, okay? All around this is the 29.5 degree, and this is the 0 degree Aquarius right here. So we are at literally the tipping point. This is the tipping point. All of this month and all of February are effectively the 0 degree tipping point. That's literally, when you're on a teeter-totter and it's very beautifully balanced, and then just one little tiny gust of wind takes it from this way to this way. And there's no going back. Okay? I'll come to that in a minute. So over here, we're talking about the fraud, deception, lies, betrayal, the perversion, the sickness, the tragedy, the ugliness, the complete hollowness of the global elites who are doing everything they can in their behavior of desperation to impose their globalized Marxist agenda. Okay? They're meeting with some pretty serious resistance. I'll show you in a little minute. Over here, of course, we have a very, very short reissue, replay of the global financial crisis, and because the moon is in Scorpio, okay? So we're all used to that already, okay? We'll be talking about this for the next month and a half, okay? We're going to be talking about this, okay? We're heading up to it. In a few days, we've got the Capricorn new moon, and Mars is going to be close by, so that's going to be very serious. Very, very serious energy. And then Mercury heads into Capricorn again. Very serious. So it's going to be a very, very serious time for America. Okay? Now, I just wanted to share with you a couple of funny things. Okay, I'm not going to dwell on the doom and gloom forever, okay? No, don't watch them. Excuse me. I've still got leftovers from my sinus infection and allergies and stuff, and I'm pretty medicated. It's been a very challenging day for me personally, but look at me. I'm still here, chirpy as ever. Ha 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 ha. This is funny to me. There's a guy called Jesse Waters. He's sort of taken over one of the top spots on Fox News after Tucker Carlson left. So Fox has this sort of awkward uniparty. Looks like they're Republicans type of thing, but they're actually straight down the middle. All they want is continuity of government and keep everything rolling. Keep the big bucks flowing, pass the budget for trillions of dollars. Let's keep the machine going. Okay, I watch Fox because I want to get a reference point. Anyway, Jesse Waters is kind of a big deal there. He likes to call it out very vibrantly. He's very, very conservative, pro-America and all that, pro-Constitution. At least that's how they present themselves. But anyway, the other day, he thought, you know what? Sometimes it's so hard to predict things. What we're going to do is we're going to bring a psychic onto Fox News. Can you believe that? I almost wet myself when I heard that. And he actually did. I can't remember the lady's name. She's kind of a big deal psychic, celebrity commercial psychic over in England. And Jesse was saying, just pull one card. Just pull one card. Pull a card for Donald Trump. And it came up the 5 of Cups. Grief, misery, loss, tragedy. And I knew she was going to say, oh, well, you know what that's going to mean. Yep. And then another card came up for Grandpa Joe, the 9 of Pentacles, money, 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 money. And she went like, well, you know what that's going to mean. Probably hinting like, oh, he's going to get the budget funded for hundreds of billions of dollars. It's going to go to all the immigrants and everything's going to be great. And Donald's going to be fading into the background. I completely disagree. And as soon as I saw those cards pop up, I knew she was going to fake her way around it. She was literally generally pulling up cards. So that's not the point. But my interpretation, especially for Donald, I don't care about the others. My interpretation for Donald is that, oh, hello. Hello, All Sun. Hello, Necessary. Hello, Melanie. Hello, Winna. And I have a feeling I wouldn't be surprised. Hello, Russian Thoughtbot. Serenity Now. And there's, of course, Ivona. Leading us into the charge. So, let's have a look. I'm just trying to run the show. I got so many bits of software. Anyway, so there she is. She's doing her psychic reading live on Fox. And when I saw the 5 of Cups for Donald Trump, I thought, I know exactly what's going on here. Because I had a face-to-face thing with a very famous world psychic named James von Prague. I met him personally, and I was already an operating psychic at the time. And I knew it was going to be a very, very uncomfortable meeting. He was doing book signings. He was kind of like watching the movie Hereafter with Matt Damon. Anyway, I walk up to James von Prague for him to sign a copy of his new book for me personally. And he was sitting there doing this like... And then I was standing in front of him, and then he did this. And then he started crying because he knew that I knew. And I knew that he knew that I knew about what was really going on inside of him. He was very, very grief-stricken, sad, and broken up inside because he doesn't have a life anymore for himself. He's completely managed by these corporate entities who make a lot of money. And he's very successful. He has made a lot of money, but he's withdrawn from the world stage now because it's overwhelming to be a permanent, full-time global celebrity psychic. So, when I saw the 5 of Cups for Donald Trump, what I really saw was not what she saw. I saw that what we're seeing is deep into the heart of Donald Trump, where he is completely heartbroken, in deep, tragic pain because of what's happening inside America today. It's crushing him internally. But he's very, very strong, and he's outwardly, he's indestructible. He's born with, literally, he's indestructible. He's born with Leo rising, Pluto in Leo at the early degrees, conjoined Mars in Leo. Okay? That's less like godlike warrior energy. So, I have my own interpretations. I just wanted to share that with you. And if you saw the comments underneath that show, everybody was laughing. They were basically saying, Jesse Waters, you suck. You have become a depraved lunatic. You have sunk your Fox News channel to the lowest depths possible. Whoever thought that Fox News would invite a psychic onto their show? Anyway, let's keep going from my notes. Yeah, Donald, he's a Gemini sun with Gemini North Node conjoined and Uranus in Gemini very close by in the 11th house in deep, deep, powerful sextiles with all the Leo. Very, very, very powerful. So anyway, these are my notes from the other day. I never had the chance to make the show I wanted to make, but it's just a bunch of notes. Keep your eye out. We've got the Capricorn new moon coming in soon. Okay, things are going to get very serious, very, very somber. Very, very much to do with reality check. Grandpa Joe is going to start looking very, very ridiculous on the world stage. He's already considered a buffoon, a clown, a complete, utter disgrace. And he is. And that's what's happening. And it's apparent to the whole world, but not to all the Americans. Anyway, the other notes, we're coming to this very soon. Pluto's going to enter Aquarius. So to answer your questions earlier necessary, the key dates down to the precise moments are January 20, 21, and 22. And it's basically a whole week-long episode. I mean, it's months long. Going over the cusp is months, not hours. With the moon, it's hours. But with Pluto, it's months. So we're there. We're already there. We're heading up to it right now. And we've already talked about this before. Very, very soon after, well, actually almost conjoined, we're getting a full moon. We're getting an Aquarius sun with a Leo moon. Okay? Interesting. I'll share why. Anyway, I'm not going to talk about all the impeachment stuff. I'm just going to go straight to the thing I wanted to talk about. Revolution. Okay? Sun, Pluto, and eventually, I think, when is it? We're going to get the Aquarius new moon, which will be, actually, let me just check my Aquarius. Where is the Aquarius new moon here? Give me a moment. I just want to check. Aquarius, okay. Okay, so the new moon is going to be right like February 8th or 9th or something like that. So please expect fireworks, okay? It's time to be aware there's going to be some global fireworks, okay? Revolution is in the air, literally. Okay, so let me go over to the stage for a moment, all right? Give me a second. Revolution is in the air, okay? Okay, there it is. We're moving from here to here. This is the age of Aquarius. It's going to be revolution because people all around the world living in suppression are going to rise up and say enough is enough is enough. There's 8 billion people. And those 8 billion people are governed by a handful of what? 500,000 people worldwide? 1 million people worldwide? It's a disgrace. It's completely distorted. Very, 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 very sick. So, let's, I go ranting and chanting about China all the time, about the sadness and the tragedy over there, the implosion of their economy. You're not seeing that on the news, okay? But it's very, very dire. It's very, very serious. And I'm not going to tell you what to do or think or go to where. But anyway, just take it from me for now that it's very, very dire. Things are very, very bad in China right now. And Mr. Ping, Mr. Xi himself, do you get my joke there? You know, gender neutrality stuff. Anyway, Mr. Xi is in very, very deep trouble. Because deep down, he knows he's in trouble. He knows the CCP and the whole of China is in very deep trouble right now. And the worst thing that could possibly happen is a revolution from 1.4 billion people wanting to take him down. And so I've been watching for months and months and months now, if not a year or two. Where is the sign of revolution? When are the Chinese people, not the CCP, when are the Chinese people are going to find a way to rise up and take down their despotic, tyrannical, murderous, evil dictator? So now I'm going to show you just another little piece of snippet. I'm going to show you. See that title there? I don't know if the camera's grabbing it. China's red families intend to overthrow Mr. Ping, claims the former Peking University law professor. Okay, this has been simmering for a long time. There are a lot of people at the very, very top of the CCP who know that their country is in very deep trouble. And it's being operated, it's the person steering the ship has become like a maniacal, classic despot, gone out of control, completely, utterly paranoid, murdering, removing, eliminating, disappearing anybody who goes against him. And so what's happening is that inside the CCP, it's a monolith, okay? It's just a pyramid of power. The only way to get to the top is bribery, corruption, betrayal, sycophancy, murder. That's how you do it. It's just like gangs, gang initiations, and all that stuff. And so Mr. Ping is at the very, very top right now. But the thing is, it's such an extreme position of power, and there's nowhere else to go. He's not going to let go. He's trying to change their constitution so that he can be leader forever until the day he dies. Okay, so obviously a lot of people in China don't want that to happen. So not only do 1.4 billion people realize and understand that their country is in very deep trouble, they're realizing that normally they would not have a chance to revolt against the leaders because the leaders they're thugs. They just obliterate, kill, shut down, whatever, imprison anybody who disagrees with them. There's no rule of law or anything. It's just thuggery. And so even the top levels of leadership understand that. And so inside the top levels of leadership, there are families. It's all about families. And in the top families, it's the children. It's the adult children in their 30s and 40s and 50s who are the children of the senior members who are in their 60s and 70s who are now conspiring among themselves to take down Mr. Ping. I don't know how that's going to happen, but there's really only a few ways for it to happen. Okay, so I spent many years in Hollywood, but I don't have all the props I need around me to act it out. But the way it happens, you've probably seen Shakespearean plays and other, crazy fictional movies about how to, and video games about how to remove the leader. It's something like, or it's one of these, or it's something like one of these, or it's one of these, like, delicious, one way or other. Or just like what Mr. Ping did in their parliament building, is that everything is highly orchestrated and staged and organized. And there comes a tipping point, a singular moment in time where Mr. Ping is sitting there doing his business, controlling the world. And then suddenly a group of probably 100 revolutionaries enter very, very quickly with their own militia. And they completely surround Mr. Ping and they pull him out. In other words, a military coup. That's what I'm sensing. How and when exactly, I don't know. But it is now official. There's all sorts of gossip, little, Twitters and Telegrams and X's and and tons and tons of gossip about, oh my gosh, there's revolution and blah, blah, blah. But I've never seen it as a major headline on a major news source that I trust. I trust the Epoch Times. That's one of my primary sources. They go global and they are ruthlessly honest. And so when that thing came out, it was just like, yep, I told you. I knew it. And so look at the timing. Get it? What better symbolic event timing than to have that thing, that article I just showed you, appear as a headline at the cusp as we enter this new era, the age of revolution. I don't know if I can do this. Let me go to the stage now. I want to show you something else. See if I can do this. Again, I had it all sort of planned out. There's other ways to do these broadcasts, but it's very hard for me to do that sometimes. So I'm trying other ways to do it. And that is still palatable. Let's see. There we go. Conflict tracker, blah, 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 blah. Okay, you've probably heard of the Council on Foreign Relations. They're very, 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 very high up. Extremely high up, almost at the very tippity top of the pyramid of global power and elites behind the scenes regarding the process of not elections of leaders across the world, but the actual selections, okay? The Council on Foreign Relations is a group of the world's leaders of the leaders of the leaders, okay? And they gather frequently to figure out how are we going to take over the world and keep things running in a way that works for us. Forget the people, what works for us? And so they select a leader, like Barack was selected, groomed, selected, and placed into position, and so on. And so anyway, the Council on Foreign Relations has a little app. It's quite convenient. There's others, but this one is the most accessible one, and it's called the Global Conflict Tracker. Okay? So it should show up here. I don't know if you can't see that with all the lights. There's me. It's not very good. This isn't working very well. Oh, that's better. I can do it like this. You might be able to see it if I hold it like this. So there's Africa and Central Europe. Let me go over here. Okay, so as you can see right now, in terms of armed, violent, bloody conflict, there's nothing overt in the United States. There's nothing overt in Canada or Alaska. There's very little overt going on in Central America. But there's a little bit there in Venezuela with Guyana, of course. There's a little bit in Haiti and the Dominican Republic and Mexico itself with the cartels, okay? But that's all dwarfed by these conflicts over here. Here, again, these are the obvious ones. There's Ukraine, Russia. That's a dead end. It's complete loss for Ukraine. It's an embarrassment for the West. And they're so stupid that they even allowed it to happen. Then we got the Middle East war over there, the Gaza, the Muslims versus the Jews and things. And then all over here, all over Africa, the Middle East, everything, which is in permanent war, permanent war. And of course, in the Balkans, it's usually dictators of some sort, either communist dictatorships, all heavily influenced by Russia and China, but a lot of it is Muslims versus Christians of some kind. And over here, of course, we got the China-Taiwan thing, and over here, Myanmar. That's always in a state of war. Of course, New Zealand, very, very peaceful. There you go. Okay, it's called Global Conflict Tracker. It comes from the Council on Foreign Relations. You can just type it in a search bar and they'll come up. You can find other ones too. And they just put it on maps for you. Hello, Esther. So, I'm not going to read the article to you. I just wanted to share the headline. And it made me feel, I mean, it sounds very sick. Sounds very sick, but it made me feel like, wow, you know, I've been, going around on this for years, and now we're here. We're actually at the point of transition. Now, I love another guy. His name is Mark Moss. He's up there with George Gammon at the very pinnacle of financial information, global information, and the understanding of the reality of money, how it really, really works and stuff. And I get his newsletters very regularly, so it keeps me in touch of what's going on with the global financial system. And again, it's all so predictable. When you look at it, it's revolution. All those little dots that you see on the conflict tracker, it represents hundreds of millions of people. If you look at China, it's 1.4 billion. India is not at war, thank God, because that's another 1.4 billion. So, along with this global conflict, it's not a surprise that it's happening simultaneously with this complete revolution in the global financial system. It's very, very active. It's going to be going on for several more years while Uranus is still in Taurus. And we're going to have an epic moment when Jupiter aligns with Uranus in Taurus. I forgot the exact date. I've got it somewhere on one of my markers. But anyway, hello, Maria. But, so what is happening is all planned. You have to understand it's all planned out. Some of it is inevitable. Like what I think of as the coming collapse of China is inevitable. It's a massive, massive implosion. And the closer it gets to the implosion, the more that Mr. Ping is going to declare to the world that he's got it all in charge and he's taken over the world and it's going to be the Chinese Empire, okay? It's not going to happen, okay? There's going to be a restructuring of new empire-type structures, but in ways that we've never had on Earth before because everything is now globalized. But instead of globalization according to the plan of the global elites and their monstrous beast system, we're going to have globalization in a way that works for we the people. In other words, decentralized power, decentralized money. If you look at the equation, money equals power, power equals money, we're still in the embryonic stages of the connection between power and money and power when it comes to decentralization. In other words, the fake decentralization is going to look like CBDCs, central bank digital currencies, and the governments are going to tell you, oh, this is the new money. It's not. It's a prison. It's a financial choke chain, okay? So do not be fooled. There's, oh, hi. Hi, I got you, buddy. The real alternative is the very bizarre world of cryptos, which is starting to become a global phenomenon. It's still, again, very embryonic. So there's a lot of instability, but eventually there's going to be a parallel world, the fake world that's going to be perpetuated as long as the global elites can make it happen. And then there's going to be a newly emerging decentralized world. And that's already kind of happening in places like, I think it's Ecuador and Argentina, because they are in such deep trouble that they realized we have to take leapfrogs ahead of the rest of the world to try and save ourselves. So in some ways, Argentina and El Salvador are kind of ahead because they're already trying to integrate into the decentralized world. Very, very, very exciting. Very, very exciting. And so, again, if you look at the maps of the world, you take everything, you put it all together, what's happening is we're going to see outbreaks, brush fires, a revolution all across the world for the next 20 years until things stabilize. Hi, Bubba. Of course, you're just, are you supervising? Bubba is supervising. Make sure I do a proper show. And I don't lie to people. And I don't do anything. Hi, Bubba. Hi, Bubba. Say hello to everybody, Bubba. Bubba likes to be the center of attention. He likes being there. But anyway, let's not worry about Bubba for the moment. So, in a way, most of us here are probably relatively insulated. Hi, Queen of Water. Oh, over there in Australia. We're relatively insulated from the global conflicts, as you saw on the little map. We have, of course, a lot of trouble in the United States, but we're not being pounded into oblivion by missiles and rockets, okay? This is not Gaza. This is not Ukraine. It's not happening here. However, we do have our own version of revolution already very well seated and in kind of already in, in motion inside America, because we're being flooded with people, literally flooded with people who are being set up effectively to be the enemy within. Yeah. And they're all getting red carpet treatment. I'm not going to predict too much of that because I don't want to scare people. But in other words, we're at the point where the founding fathers of this country predicted extremely precisely that there will come a point where the government will be needed to be taken down, because it will have become so perverse, so excessive, so extreme, so maniacal in terms of maintaining itself at the expense of we the people, that there will be no alternative except revolution, revolutionary upheaval to take down the existing government. So that's going to happen. The thing is, the existing global elites are trying to simultaneously take down who they see to be the enemy within. As far as they're concerned, the enemy within are people like me. Basically very simple, straightforward, conservative patriot types who are looking forward to reconstituting the Constitution. People like me, we are enemy number one. Okay? And it's the only country in the world that has that definition enshrined in its Constitution. So we are literally demonized by people that I consider demons. It's going to be very, very strange. It's going to be very, very interesting. And the global elites are already wreaking havoc everywhere else in the world. And some of it's sort of backfiring, but they're pushing very, very hard. Like in Western Europe with the Netherlands, Australia, Canada, the global elites have made huge strides in destroying those democracies. And they're having a lot of trouble in destroying America, because there is resistance. There's very, very serious resistance here. So, I don't know. We'll see what happens. It's a big deal. 2024 is going to be a big deal. It already is a big deal. It's already started. It's starting with a bang, literally. January 20, 21, 22. Those are the dates of critical mass, okay? Anyway, I don't want to bore you. I'll take up your weekend. I'm going to sign off now. Say goodbye, Bubba. Say goodbye. Goodbye. So I'm going to sign off now. Wish you all a wonderful, I guess, Saturday evening or Sunday morning for you, Queen of Water. And we'll gather again hopefully tomorrow night. That'll be my Sunday evening, your Sunday evening, your Monday morning. Okie dokie. So, cheerio. Take care, everybody. Okay, yeah. Be loving, be loved. In that order.